Hang on a minute, this isn't the LaBelle news! Yeah, now that it's evening and the plot has advanced, we actually have to talk to Anton and Ricky again. Most of the Odyssey of Anton dialogues happen during Chapter 3. Running after the sun, though, makes me think of the evil killer sun in the Mario games and how Super Mario Maker 2 actually brought that back and gave it kind of an interesting redesign for the Wii U graphics. Okay, final destination, the LaBelle news. Hopefully Niall is actually back now. Yep, there he is. Just like Estelle's saying. I like how he's actually pretty friendly with us now. Definitely a big contrast to when we first met him. Well, kind of, but we were more looking for information out of you. They're sort of busy at the moment. We actually know quite a bit now. And so Chloe goes for a persuasion check. Yeah, unfortunately we already know that. Nine. To be fair, there was no way of him knowing that, but still. Unless you know anything about the Hayworths. Yeah, they just say something bad will happen, without really specifying anything. You know, that might actually be the most useful thing we've heard all day. In a way, though, that actually makes me even more worried. They've got the army and the Bracer Guild investigating all these threatening letters. This entire thing could be a decoy. Well, right now, me as an outside observer, my main theory is it's actually both. it's both a prank and a real threat. Because if the army and the guild are busy investigating the letters, they might miss what's really going on. Huh, over there. Well, that's one way to repurpose somewhere like that. Well, I was about to say that she's fine on her own, and then I realized, no, she isn't! Definitely not, we know that full well. And one more thing. You wouldn't happen to know about anyone named Hayworth, would you? Okay, just a nondescript merchant then. But Niall has his sources, if we remember from FC. Crossbell actually does have its own news service. I mean, Niall actually is pretty reliable. I mean, he's kind of the reason that we were able to track down where Chloe was being held last time, except he then went and got himself captured himself, but still. So with that, we're all done with our investigation. We've visited everywhere we need to check. The only thing left to do is to head on back to the guild. And hear Agate's report. Maybe he found something in all those other places. But first, we're going to do one very important thing. Stripping Olivier's inventory. I made sure to just end that with inventory, otherwise he would probably be sniggering and approving. But anyway, we're going to get rid of all of his rare items and good quartz. Because we're not going to have access to Olivier's inventory for quite a while. And we're going to be quickly approaching the end of this chapter where we're going to really need a lot of good quartz. So we're going to do that, and I'm also going to go ahead and duck into one of the stores and buy some EP charges. So I'll see you back here after I've done that. Okay, let's head in. I can see Agate's boots there. He's definitely back too. So let's go in and debrief. Because we found out basically nothing. All we did is really rule out suspects. Hopefully Agate actually has a suspect, but I kind of doubt it. Let me guess, it involves a lot of ice cream. I actually went and bought some more ice cream because I definitely need it. 20 CP is very nice. And so a cut while we explain everything we found out. Well, that was kind of to be expected. No one really does, but at this point, we're ruling out more and more people. I still like Niall's theory of it being a prank, though. And yeah, that is true. We haven't really seen any bizarre phenomenon around this area at all. And also, Ouroboros likes to stay secret and keep to the shadows. Publicly announcing that they're gonna do something is not really their style. Yeah, a report that tells the army we basically have nothing. All we know is it's probably not Erebonia or Calvard. Okay, a bit of progress there. Yeah, it makes sense the hotel would know who they were. Okay, that seems pretty normal. Her parents must have been with her then. Okay, so they actually hit up a lot of the places that Agate went to. That matches up with Hilda's testimony. So, something was off about Ren's parents. Now, here is one of those times where finding nothing is possibly even more significant than finding something. As they say, sometimes the absence of evidence can itself be evidence. That is incredibly suspicious. Three people arrive in Liberl, and there are no travel records of them at all. So here's the thing, she can't have come by land, and we know that if we think back to when we first met her. Plus, if she'd come by land, she would have had to have come through either Wolf Fort or the Gate by Bose. I keep forgetting the name of that place. And that would have required travelling directly through either Calvard or the Empire, and she probably would have had comments if she'd done that. Yeah, either way, it's not good. That would explain why they seem distracted. Does Ren have any idea of what she's caught up in, though? This could be a lot worse than we suspected. Especially with all those threatening letters going around, and the fact that Ren's parents have mysteriously vanished. But I mean, we can't really break it to her that, yeah. I mean, people coming into the country and there being, like, 0 records of those names existing on travel records is very, very suspicious, so maybe for the best we don't tell her about that for now. And yeah, we know Olivier's definitely out, and Zin's out, and looks like Agate's out too. So it's just gonna be girls' night with Estelle and Chloe, probably. I forget the excuse that Shera uses here, it's probably some work-related thing. But yeah, Agate definitely doesn't like those kinds of places. And as it turns out, unfortunately, Estelle can't stay at the castle. Work has to come first. They can have a sleepover some other time, though, probably. I was about to say maybe when Josh was back, but, that might get awkward. So, most of us are going our separate ways. And you can make good on that promise to play the piano again. Hey, Estelle's saying something nice about Olivier. And immediately gets taken back. That's the thing, anytime someone has a higher opinion with Olivier, it is the law that he will immediately ruin it with the next sentence that comes out of his mouth. Yeah, I mean, everyone's probably glad Mueller was there to rein Olivier in. And yes, a pleasant evening in Grancel, and now we're back to the hotel. Well, actually, not so much back. This is our first time staying here, most likely. This trip, at least. Oh, whoops. Yeah, let's, yeah. Also, I love it when Chloe gets to give these statements that are technically true. I still love the line about, I have rich relatives in Grancel. Which is actually not a lie, it's just that it fails to mention that they are royalty. Yeah, I would have loved to have actually seen that, like, on screen. That would have been great. Niall might not act like it, but he probably enjoys this kind of thing. Yeah, he's actually a good musician when he's not being a total weirdo! Maybe that claim about people paying millions of mira just to see him at Erebonia's opera house might not be entirely unfounded. You know, that's exactly what I was thinking. It'd probably devolve into a drinking contest eventually, and, that might not end well. And so, time to retire for the night. Well, I mean, we're probably gonna have to split up, Teeter and Ren, because isn't there some kind of rule against, like, I don't know if it's actually like a rule or something, but most of the time you would think that children that age would not stay in a hotel room on their own. You know, weird thing is, that's actually kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, those were the days, being on the run from the Special Ops Division. And, well, coincidence of coincidences, guess which room this is? You could probably recognize it. And it's not the case of, this is the only room they modeled, because they modeled all of the rooms in this place. You could have easily stayed at a different room, but it turns out that, yep, this is that room. So, it's memory time. Well, yeah, but the way things are going... Yeah, it's statements like that that are even more suspicious. You know, normally I would just always say don't ever do this because inevitably one of them ends up being jump off a bridge or something like that. And here's one of these conversations that's pretty inevitable in Japanese-made games. The whole let's drop the honorifics conversation. They did a decent job of translating it here. I've seen this come up a few times in Fire Emblem games too, but it is definitely something that makes a lot more sense in Japanese than it does in English, where you normally refer to people with honorifics and dropping the honorifics means you're very familiar with them. They did something kind of interesting with that in the fan translation of New Mystery of the Emblem. The last conversation with Julian and Lena, where they decided that dropping honorifics in the context of them, who end up romantic in their ending, was actually so intimate they actually changed it to her wanting him to call her honey, I think, which actually fits in that particular context. Sometimes you have to be creative when you're translating languages that have concepts that don't really have direct equivalents in English, and there's a lot of that with Japanese. Anyway, let's forget that, because this one's a little more important of a request. Turns out Ren made a very high perception check when Estelle walked into this room. Ren, where have you been picking up that kind of language? Complicated is, yeah, kind of an understatement. Yes, I believe the term here is bishonen, which actually means, like, pretty young boy, and so that means using it for adult characters is technically inaccurate. In that case, it's biseinen, but you don't hear the term biseinen used very often. And so Estelle was forced to tell Ren the entire story. Meanwhile, across the country of Labourle, as you can see by the fact that Shera is here, this scene does change if you're on her route. You'll have Agate here instead. Same place the Sky Bandits used back then. I guess they found out via working with the Sky Bandits. If I remember right, that fight went very, very much in my favor. True, if they have a much bigger army and it's just you two, charging in is definitely not a good idea. Sent out the invitations. Got the table and chairs ready. Everything's ready for the tea party. Now all I need is to bake some crumpets and wait for the guests to arrive. Annalise, they do go over, like, blatant military codes in Bracer School, right? Like, at this point, I'm a bit more worried about the crumpets. That probably means something very bad. But, interrupted. Gonna get straight to the point, huh? Oh, of course, I got unlucky and they got a crit turn to start with. Oh, and I forgot they could poison you. So, we're fighting 2 blade-using Special Ops soldiers and 1 gunner. And we're using Annalise again, and this is also our first time using our whichever party member that we didn't choose back in Chapter 1. So, okay, that's not enough of an AoE. You definitely want to keep healed in this fight, because you can quite easily lose it on the higher difficulties if you're not careful. Shera has Chain 2, but I can't get all of them in it. And she also starts out with a Sleep Quartz, And she also has Sylvan Whip 2, which has a pretty nice AoE on it. Her physical attacks still hit pretty hard, even though she is primarily an arts user. I'm gonna go ahead and heal her now, though, because I really don't want to fail this. This is kind of more of a cutscene fight than, like, a main battle, but you still want to be careful. I find the best defense is a good offense in this fight. You just want to take these guys out as quickly as possible before... Because the less of them there are, the less damage you'll be taking overall. Okay, good. Annalise has her S-Craft. I think I can survive one guy attacking us. Which one is it who's attacking, though? It's not the one with Bullet Barrage. So I can probably go ahead and do this. Okay, hopefully I'm just barely in range of Annalise with Lutz here. Okay, and that's good. And let's hit these two with that. We haven't seen Annalise in a while, so I may as well show the full animation here. Okay, let's... I think the blade ones are a little bit more of a priority to take down. And yes, that is still very much a thing. Now, depending on how things go, I may have to revive Shera here. Yep, definitely need to revive Shera. Please don't use a delay attack. Okay, good. So this group has their own unique inventory separate from your main party, which makes perfect sense. They're very far away from your main party, after all. So just feel free to use all your items here, because you're not even going to get them back afterwards, I'm pretty sure. And, okay, you have no... I think I'll actually set up an aerial and then go ahead and heal with a Tira Balm. You'll obviously do this fight very differently if you've got Agate, because he's much more of a physical attacker than an art user. Shera's actually more of a hybrid in this game, but still. And yeah, took out both of them. Like I said, best defense is a good offense. You want to take them out quickly. And sadly, the experience that Annalise is getting there is pretty much pointless. Yeah, that incident at the lighthouse. Huh. That's a weird way to put it, but it all makes sense in a moment. That is what she meant by whipping a tree. These things were entirely made of metal. And hey there, Kevin. It's been a while since we last saw you.